You've seen them everywhere. The ones who speak the loudest, argue the longest, and learn the least. They scroll, complain, blame, and mock. But ask them to pause, to reflect, to change, and suddenly they vanish into pride. In today's world, ignorance isn't the absence of knowledge. It's the refusal to face the truth. And the Stoics knew this centuries ago. Epictetus warned, "It is impossible to learn what you think you already know." That's not just philosophy. It's a mirror. Because every one of us has moments of foolishness, when ego speaks louder than reason, when emotion blinds judgment, when we forget to listen. But wisdom begins when we dare to recognize it. Today, we'll uncover 7 signs of a stupid person, not to judge others, but to master ourselves. So stay till the end, warrior. And comment, "I choose wisdom over noise." 1. They always react, never reflect. Have you ever noticed someone snapping at every little inconvenience, letting their temper dictate their words and actions? They don't pause, they don't breathe. They react instantly, as if every trigger is an emergency. Social media notifications, a harsh email, a minor disagreement, it's all fuel for immediate, often destructive responses. This is the hallmark of a person who hasn't mastered themselves. They are ruled by impulses, by the constant chatter of the mind and ego, never stopping to observe, never asking, "What can I actually control here?" Life throws challenges at all of us, but the difference between the wise and the foolish is simple. One pauses, the other explodes. The Stoics called this the difference between stimulus and response. Epictetus wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." A simple truth, yet most people live their lives forgetting it. Reactivity is a trap. It feels powerful in the moment, but in reality, it erodes influence, credibility, and peace of mind. Every unconsidered reaction hands control over to circumstance, leaving the ego to run the show. Let's break it down. Imagine you're in a work meeting and someone criticizes your project. The reactive mind wants to defend, attack, or justify immediately. A reflection-based mind, the Stoic mind, pauses. One breath, one moment to observe. Ask yourself, do I control this situation, or am I just responding to emotion? Then respond intentionally, if at all. This tiny pause shifts power back to you. In everyday life, these moments appear in countless forms. You get a text that annoys you. Do you fire off an angry reply? Someone cuts you off in traffic. Do you honk and shout or let it pass? The foolish never ask this. They act first, regret later. The wise, however, understand that energy spent reacting is energy lost. They cultivate the ability to respond with reason, not reflex. A practical exercise for today. Notice every instance where you feel that immediate urge to react. Take 3 seconds. Literally count 1, 2, 3. Then ask, is this worth my attention, or is it the ego talking? Record these moments in a small journal. Over time, patterns emerge. You begin to recognize triggers and reclaim control. Remember, discomfort is not the enemy here. Feeling the impulse to react is natural. The enemy is blind obedience to it. Train yourself to pause, observe, and choose. Each deliberate pause is a small victory over impulsiveness, a building block for inner strength and clarity. So the first sign of a stupid person is clear. They are slaves to their reactions. The antidote? Stoic mindfulness. Reflect before responding. Choose what matters. Recognize that control over your own mind is far more powerful than trying to control others. Affirmation to internalize. I am not a puppet of impulse. I pause, I reflect, I respond with wisdom. 2. They talk more than they listen. Have you ever been in a conversation where the other person dominates every word, every sentence, leaving no space for your thoughts? They're not just chatty. They're fully convinced that their voice matters more than anyone else's. That speaking equals knowing. They interrupt, they cut off ideas, they always return to themselves. It's exhausting, frustrating, and unmistakably a sign of someone who hasn't cultivated wisdom. The truth is, listening is a skill few master. Most people equate talking with influence, assuming that the louder they speak, the more powerful they become. But the Stoics understood the opposite. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. The person who talks endlessly without listening misses this entirely. They are trapped in their own perspective. Consider a modern example. In meetings, there's always that colleague who dominates discussions. They speak over quieter teammates, dismiss alternative ideas, and repeat their own points for emphasis. It feels like they're in control, but in reality, they're trapped in their ego. True influence doesn't come from volume. It comes from discernment, understanding, and strategic listening. The psychology behind this is simple: fear of irrelevance. By speaking constantly, they try to prove presence, competence, or superiority, but it backfires. People stop listening, disengage, or even subtly avoid them. Talking without listening is a silent surrender of real connection. It's a mark of the unwise, and the Stoics called it a misalignment of judgment and action. You can test this in everyday life. Think about conversations today. Who dominated? Who listened? How did it feel? Now reflect. Did talking more increase clarity, or did it create noise? The results are usually obvious. Listening provides insight. Speaking recklessly provides illusion. The Stoic solution is deliberate. Cultivate attention, value perspective, and recognize the power in silence. Here's a simple micro-practice. In your next conversation, commit to listening twice as much as you speak. Notice the urge to interrupt. Pause. Ask clarifying questions. Reflect before responding. Over time, this trains not only communication skills, but self-discipline and emotional intelligence. It's the opposite of reacting, it's intentional engagement. Another layer of wisdom: listening guards against deception and misunderstanding. Those who talk more than they listen often misinterpret facts, jump to conclusions, and act on partial truths. A Stoic, by contrast, observes patterns, seeks evidence, and prioritizes understanding over the compulsion to respond. So the second sign of a stupid person is clear: they speak incessantly and listen sparingly. The antidote? Stoic presence. Value listening as much as speaking. Seek to understand first, respond second. Each moment spent truly listening builds insight, patience, and authority without ego. Affirmation to internalize. I choose to listen first, speak with purpose, and value understanding over proving myself. 3. They blame everything but themselves. Have you noticed people who never accept responsibility, no matter what goes wrong? In their world, the boss, the system, luck, the weather, anything and anyone but themselves is always at fault. Missed deadlines, failed projects, relationship conflicts. Someone else always caused it. This is the hallmark of someone unwilling to see their own role in outcomes. The modern world encourages this mindset. Social media, instant messaging, and performance metrics make it easy to assign blame outward. But the Stoics, centuries ago, understood that the only control we truly have is over ourselves, our judgments, choices, and actions. Epictetus wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself. Every time you blame external circumstances, you surrender your power. Reactivity and complaint replace action and self-mastery." Let's break it down. Picture a team member missing an important deadline. The habitual blamer responds, "The client gave unclear instructions," or "The system is broken," or "I didn't get enough support." The Stoic response, by contrast, is reflective. What part of this was within my control? What can I do differently next time? One acknowledges reality, the other hides from it. This is not just about work. It appears in every facet of life. Traffic jams, a friend's miscommunication, a personal mistake. People who blame constantly avoid introspection. They never ask, "Could I have done something differently?" Their energy goes outward, creating frustration and resentment, instead of inward, creating growth and resilience. A practical exercise for today: notice the moments when you feel the urge to blame. Pause, write down the situation, then ask, "What can I control here? What's my responsibility?" Separate facts from ego-driven narratives. This exercise trains the mind to shift from victimhood to agency. It's a micro practice, but repeated daily, it rewires perception, decision-making, and emotional stability. The Stoic insight runs deeper. Blame is seductive because it feels protective. By blaming others, you shield yourself from criticism, from shame, from the discomfort of growth. But this protection is an illusion. True strength comes from acknowledging mistakes and owning your role. It transforms failure into fuel and regret into insight. For instance, imagine a personal relationship where an argument arises. A habitual blamer would say, "You started it," or "You made me feel this way." A Stoic pauses, reflects, and asks, "What part did I contribute to this outcome? What can I do to act rightly now?" The first keeps repeating mistakes, the second cultivates wisdom and inner peace. So the third sign of a stupid person is unmistakable. They never look inward, they always point outward. The antidote? Stoic accountability. Own your choices, accept your role, and focus energy on what you can control. Every time you do this, you reclaim agency and strengthen character. Affirmation to internalize. I am responsible for my actions, my thoughts, and my responses. Blame is not my refuge. Reflection is my power. For they chase validation, not virtue. Have you ever noticed people constantly seeking approval? Likes on social media, praise at work, recognition from friends. It never ends. Every action is measured by the applause it might earn, rather than the integrity it embodies. They live to be seen, to be acknowledged, and to be validated. And in that endless chase, they lose themselves. This is a clear marker of a foolish mindset. The Stoics knew that external validation is fleeting and unreliable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." In other words, virtue, character, integrity, ethical action matters far more than the opinions of others. Those who chase validation invert this truth. They prioritize image over principle, perception over action. Think about modern life. Someone posts a picture or a story to elicit compliments. They gauge self-worth by the number of likes, shares, or comments. Another person constantly brags at meetings or social gatherings to prove competence or importance. On the surface, they appear confident, successful, or charismatic. But underneath, they are tethered to external judgments, their self-esteem fragile, and their actions reactive rather than intentional. The psychology is subtle but revealing. Chasing validation is a defense against insecurity. By winning approval, they temporarily mask self-doubt. Yet this creates a cycle of dependency. Each moment of recognition is addictive. Each perceived slight or lack of acknowledgement fuels anxiety. In contrast, Stoicism teaches us to root self-worth internally, anchored in virtue, not external applause. A practical exercise for today. Identify one area where you've been seeking validation. It could be work, social media, or personal relationships. Ask yourself, am I acting to uphold my principles or to impress someone else? Then take one concrete action aligned with virtue, ignoring whether it's noticed or praised. This could be as simple as giving honest feedback, completing a task with excellence, or keeping a promise quietly. Another layer of insight. People who chase validation often react defensively to criticism, even constructive guidance. They are trapped in image management, not self-improvement. The wise, by contrast, welcome feedback as a tool for growth. They focus on actions under their control and detach from others' judgments. This builds true resilience, authority, and peace of mind, qualities that applause can never create. For example, imagine a scenario at work. A team member presents a project flawlessly but expects recognition. If overlooked, they sulk or complain. A Stoic would focus instead on executing with excellence, regardless of attention received. The results eventually speak for themselves, and satisfaction is derived from integrity, not applause. So, the fourth sign of a stupid person is unmistakable. They measure life by what others think, not by what they do. The antidote? Chase virtue relentlessly. Focus on your character, your decisions, and the right action, independent of recognition. Every step taken for principle strengthens internal freedom and clarity. Affirmation to internalize. I act with integrity, not for applause. Recognition is optional. Virtue is essential. 5. They fear discomfort and avoid challenge. Have you ever met someone who avoids anything that feels even slightly uncomfortable? They choose the easy path, steer clear of difficult conversations, skip hard work, and shy away from any situation that tests their limits. They mistake comfort for safety and convenience for success. This is a defining trait of someone who hasn't cultivated resilience or wisdom. In the modern world, comfort is everywhere. Padded chairs, climate control, social media distractions, and instant gratification. Most people mistake these conveniences for freedom. But the Stoics understood that true strength is forged in discomfort. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Those who flee challenge remain unpolished, untested, and ultimately powerless. Consider a simple example. Someone wants to improve physically or mentally but postpones effort because it's uncomfortable. They delay exercise, avoid difficult conversations, or procrastinate on projects. Every time they choose comfort over growth, they reinforce weakness. The mind and body learn passivity, fear, and dependency. Each day they avoid a challenge is a day they diminish their potential. The psychology is subtle but clear. Humans naturally avoid pain and difficulty, a survival mechanism from our evolutionary past. But in modern society, these instincts often backfire. Fear of discomfort prevents growth, reduces confidence, and keeps people trapped in mediocrity. The foolish never question this instinct. They act on it reflexively, giving up agency to the pursuit of ease. A practical exercise for today. Identify one small discomfort you've been avoiding. It could be a difficult conversation, a challenging workout, or a skill you've hesitated to practice. Consciously choose to face it, even for 10 or 15 minutes. The Stoic principle of voluntary hardship trains the mind to endure, strengthens willpower, and builds resilience that lasts far beyond the moment of discomfort. Another layer of wisdom. Discomfort is a mirror. The situations we resist often reveal our insecurities, blind spots, and fears. Confronting them allows reflection, mastery, and personal growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The obstacle itself is the opportunity. Avoid it, and you remain stagnant. Embrace it, and you evolve. Imagine a professional scenario. A project requires speaking in front of senior leaders. The fearful person hesitates, makes excuses, or delegates the responsibility. The Stoic, however, steps forward, accepts discomfort as part of growth, and delivers imperfectly if needed, but courageously. Each uncomfortable act builds confidence, credibility, and competence, teaching lessons that comfort never could. So, the fifth sign of a stupid person is unmistakable. They run from discomfort and avoid challenge. The antidote? Seek discomfort deliberately. Face the hard tasks, engage with difficulty, and see trials as the forge of wisdom. Every challenge embraced strengthens courage, self-discipline, and inner freedom. Affirmation to internalize. I choose growth over ease. Discomfort is my training ground. Challenge is my teacher. 6. They mock what they don't understand. Have you ever witnessed someone laughing at ideas, practices, or skills they don't fully grasp? They mock meditation, new technology, people learning new languages, or even someone pursuing personal growth. It's not humor, it's a defense mechanism. Mockery becomes a shield, hiding insecurity and fear of the unknown. This behavior is a hallmark of ignorance. A person who mocks before understanding has never learned the art of curiosity. They substitute ridicule for inquiry, jokes for reflection. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." Mocking bypasses learning entirely, locking them in a self-imposed cage of superficiality. Consider modern examples. Co-workers who joke about self-development books, social media influencers who ridicule wellness trends, or friends who scoff at someone trying a new skill. On the surface, it may seem amusing or harmless, but underneath, mockery is a powerful signal. They fear their inadequacy, and instead of confronting it, they project disdain outward. Psychologically, this is projection. They see qualities in others they wish they had or feel incapable of developing themselves. By mocking, they maintain a false sense of superiority while avoiding self-reflection. It's a clever disguise. Arrogance disguised as humor, laziness disguised as opinion. The Stoics recognize this pattern. The foolish attack externally because they never confront themselves internally. A practical exercise. Notice when you feel the urge to mock. Ask yourself, am I genuinely amused or am I avoiding something about myself? If it's the latter, pause, reflect, redirect energy toward understanding instead of derision. By doing this, you turn a reflexive reaction into conscious growth. This is not easy. It requires humility and courage. 2 pillars of Stoic wisdom. Another layer of insight, mockery often poisons relationships and reputations. People quickly detect insincerity and defensiveness. Those who mock to elevate themselves alienate others and close themselves off from meaningful connections. A Stoic chooses integrity over image. They remain open to learning, even when it challenges their ego, understanding that wisdom is gained by listening, observing, and practicing patience. Imagine a scenario at work. A colleague jokes about your initiative to adopt a new productivity system. The instinctive reaction might be irritation or defensiveness. A Stoic pauses, notes the behavior, and asks, "What can I learn from this situation? How can I maintain composure while pursuing what I know is right?" Instead of engaging in mockery or confrontation, they continue intentionally, grounded in principle rather than ego. So the 6th sign of a stupid person is unmistakable. They mock what they do not understand. The antidote? Stoic curiosity. Seek to learn before judging. Approach unfamiliar ideas with patience and humility. Every act of understanding over mockery expands insight, strengthens empathy, and cultivates authority that laughter alone cannot achieve. Affirmation to internalize. I observe, I learn, I understand. I replace mockery with curiosity and wisdom. 7. They never change their mind. Have you ever argued with someone who refuses to admit they could be wrong? No matter how much evidence or reason you present, they dig in, repeat the same points, and cling stubbornly to their beliefs. They equate flexibility with weakness, curiosity with disloyalty, and change with failure. This rigid mindset is a clear hallmark of foolishness. The Stoics understood the danger of unyielding thinking. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If anyone can refute me, show me my error, I will change, for I seek the truth." The wise do not fear being wrong. They embrace correction as a tool for growth. Those who refuse to change their mind place ego above truth, and in doing so, they stunt their own development. In modern life, this behavior is everywhere. In the workplace, a colleague insists on a failing strategy despite evidence to the contrary. In social situations, a friend refuses to reconsider a judgment or admit misunderstanding. Online, people defend opinions with emotional attachment rather than reason. At the core, it's fear. Fear of vulnerability, fear of appearing foolish, fear of acknowledging imperfection. Psychologically, stubbornness is often rooted in identity. People tie their self-worth to being right. Admitting error threatens that identity. Mockery, defensiveness, and repetition become armor, shielding them from discomfort. But the Stoic path shows a different route: humility, reflection, and the courage to change when presented with truth. The pursuit of wisdom outweighs the illusion of invincibility. A practical exercise: reflect on one belief you hold strongly. Ask yourself, if I were wrong, what would I do? How would I know? Seek evidence objectively, challenge assumptions, and remain open to adjusting your stance. This micro-practice develops mental flexibility and teaches you to value truth over pride. Another layer of insight: those who refuse to change are often the loudest critics of adaptability. They judge others for evolving while remaining trapped in old patterns. Stoics, however, see change as natural, necessary, and honorable. Growth is iterative. Wisdom demands it. Holding rigidly to ideas that no longer serve limits opportunities, drains energy, and fosters frustration. Imagine a professional scenario. A manager insists on an outdated method for months. The team offers new data, alternative strategies, and feedback. A stubborn mind rejects all input. A stoic mind evaluates openly, adapts intelligently, and improves outcomes. Flexibility is not weakness. It is a reflection of mastery over ego and attachment. So the seventh sign of a stupid person is unmistakable. They never change their mind. The antidote? Stoic openness. Embrace evidence, welcome correction, and let truth, not pride, guide your choices. Each time you adjust in light of reason, you strengthen judgment, expand insight, and cultivate resilience. Affirmation to internalize. I value truth over ego. I reflect, I learn, I adjust. My mind is a vessel, not a fortress. Now that we've explored the 7 unmistakable signs of a stupid person, reacting without reflection, talking more than listening, blaming everything but themselves, chasing validation over virtue, fearing discomfort, mocking what they don't understand, and never changing their mind. The question becomes, what do we do with this awareness? The Stoics teach that recognition is the first step toward mastery. These signs aren't just for judging others. They are mirrors reflecting tendencies within ourselves. Awareness gives us the power to choose differently. Where others succumb to ego, impatience, and fear, we can cultivate control, integrity, and humility. A practical Stoic framework for application involves 3 steps. Observe. Notice when these patterns arise, in yourself or others, without judgment. Awareness alone shifts energy from unconscious reaction to deliberate action. Set boundaries. In interactions with people exhibiting these traits, consciously protect your time, energy, and focus. Avoid being pulled into reactive cycles, arguments, or validation-seeking traps. Act with principle. Focus on what you can control, your thoughts, decisions, and responses. Engage challenges, embrace discomfort, and prioritize virtue over approval. Each deliberate choice strengthens wisdom and self-mastery. Consider the power in reflection. When faced with impulsive criticism, a mocking comment, or someone rigidly defending a flawed idea, you can pause, breathe, and respond with clarity. This is not weakness. It is disciplined strength. When you turn the lens inward and act from principle, you elevate yourself above the chaos of reaction and folly. Remember, foolishness is often loud and persuasive, but wisdom is quiet, deliberate, and enduring. By internalizing these principles, you reclaim authority over your mind, preserve your peace, and cultivate discernment in a world dominated by impulse and ego. So, warrior, the final call is simple. Recognize these signs, reflect on your own actions, protect your boundaries, and act consistently with virtue. Use these 7 markers as a mirror, a map, and a guide, not to condemn, but to elevate yourself and those you influence. Final affirmation. I see clearly, I act deliberately, and I choose wisdom over noise. My mind is my fortress, and virtue is my guide.